What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, huge updates around the future of Nico Williams and how Barcelona really want to progress hard for negotiations during this week. Midfield reinforcement as well. Mikel Merino, a very high option for Barcelona to reinforce the midfield, and also how the club have been very impressed with the performance of Dani Olmo. It could be looking to bring him in as either an alternative to Nico Williams or maybe just an additional signing to the squad. Two huge exit updates. Firstly, on Ilkay Gundogan, where apparently Barcelona are open to selling him this summer, and Hansi Flick will speak with Gündogan on his future. Araujo future as well. He's now injured officially and will be undergoing surgery, and he will be out for about 4 months, unlikely to play again this year. Of course, that means he will not be sold this summer, but again, the club still want to sort out his future as soon as possible. Big updates around the center back department as well, following the Araujo injury with Inigo, Martinez, Mikayil, Faye, Garcia. All three of them likely to stay now, with Araujo being out for at least the first half of the season. Big renewal update on Toni Fernandez. Some other general news as well. Joan Gamper opponent, and how the new training session is going so far under Hansi Flick, and also confirmation of Hansi Flick's full coaching staff. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Of course, we are going to begin with the news and rumors and talks around Barcelona's #1 target this summer in Nico Williams. Again, this is supposed to be the week where Barcelona are going to make some decent progression in transfer talks with Athletic Club and also with Nico Williams on personal terms as well. Firstly, Fabrizio Romano's come out saying that talks continue between Barcelona and Nico Williams' camp, and Barcelona want to advance on the deal from this week onwards. Mikel Merino's come out saying that Nico Williams has not yet agreed personal terms with Barcelona, but he hopes the club will move starting from this week and wrap up a definitive agreement from that matter. Fabrizio Romano then added to that, saying that Nico Williams is the perfect signing. This is what Hansi Flick told Barcelona internally. Again, more news from Fabrizio Romano. He's getting those Barcelona impressions. He said that Barcelona are prepared to make a move ahead of the signing of Nico Williams, as salary structure will be a crucial part of the deal. Premier League clubs also continue to remain attentive to the situation of Nico Williams. Mikel Merino came out saying finally that Nico Williams to Barcelona is hot. The club will soon work hard with his entourage to reach an agreement on personal terms before consulting Bilbao on the transfer part of the operation. They insist on the release clause, but Barcelona need to sell first. Now, that last part there, Barcelona needs to sell first, I think is wide of the mark. Most important thing is to agree with Nico Williams that he wants to give Barcelona the 100% definitive yes. Look, I'm not going to milk this section too much. It's been repetitive now for the past 3 months. We know now this is now the real moment where crunch time is going to happen. The updates are there. Barcelona are going to do something this week with Nico Williams, meet with his representatives, agree personal terms, and begin talks. Something is going to happen. Will it be hopefully in the side of the positive direction? Will we get maybe negative feedback from Nico Williams? Actually, I want to stay at Bilbao. Actually, the Chelsea offer I really like, or whatever the case may be, because we're not really 100% definitive from his side. Of course, yes, he's friends with Lamine Yamal and Fermin and Pedri and whatever the case may be. Even now in the parade yesterday, he was, living it up with Gavi, even though Gavi wasn't there throughout the tournament. But again, comes down to where it really matters, and that is in negotiations. So wait and see what happens over the next few days, but we're hoping for some sort of a positive resolution or positive news in regards to Nico Williams, I would say by the near end of the week, maybe around Friday into the weekend. I suspect some news that Barcelona make advancements on his on personal terms, or Barcelona have agreed personal terms, or Barcelona are very confident about the deal. Nico Williams is happy to join Barcelona, just pending, of course, agreeing a contract, stuff like that. I do expect at the tailor end of this week. So wait and see how things turn out, as Barcelona now, with the Euros concluding, can finally target their main player this summer in Nico Williams. Now, in the event that Barcelona do not complete the signing of Nico Williams, Barcelona will still need to sign a left winger this summer, unless they want to just improve the squad nowhere whatsoever and just go on the next season again. But another backup option for Nico Williams is, of course, Dani Olmo. We've been talking about him a lot over the past 2 months. Toni Martin from Sport came out saying that Barcelona is impressed by Dani Olmo's Euro Cup performances, with Deco now placing him ahead of Luis Díaz. Oh, alhamdulillah. Oh my god, Luis Díaz is just falling more and more down the pecking order. You love to see it. I think he's a good player just for the price and, you know, all that stuff. It's different complications. Anyways, although Olmo's release clause of 60 million euros is valid until July the 20th, Barcelona hopes to negotiate a lower price. Their primary target still remains Nico Williams, but if that deal falls through, Olmo is the favorite alternative. Olmo is eager to join Barcelona despite interest from Bayern Munich and Manchester United. He's just not a left winger. Look, he was his performances of the year were really great. Where was he playing? In the 10. You're acting like he's gonna come and put the exact same performance he does in the 10 in the left wing when it's a completely different position, completely different profile, completely different objective, completely different role as well. You think he's gonna perform the same way? Look, unless there's a departure in the midfield, I'm not really keen on Dani Olmo. I think he's a good player. I think there's a reason why his release clause got magically extended and that no one is ready to activate his release clause for a reason. I think a lot of the top teams are not really looking for a player like Dani Olmo because everyone already has that player. Look at Madrid. They have Brahim Diaz who can play that 10. Jude Bellingham. Barcelona have Pedri, Fermin, Gündogan. Bayern Munich have Thomas Muller. Olise can play there. They're of course going for Xavi Simons. So Dani Olmo to Bayern wouldn't be too bad. In Manchester City have already Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. Arsenal already have Martin Odegaard. They have Emil Smith-Rowe as well. So all these teams don't really need 10s. Apart from, I would say, Bayern Munich. They mentioned United here, but they have Bruno Fernandez. So unless they're going to sell Bruno, I don't see Dani Olmo going there. I think Bayern Munich, out of all the top clubs, would take him. But right now, Bayern Munich are prioritizing Xavi Simons and also Deco of in the French league. He's one of the highly touted midfielders coming out from there. So they're kind of targeting already other players ahead of Dani Olmo. He's basically a third option for them, even though they're the only top team that would take him as things currently stand. So unless we get a departure, which again we'll talk about later on in the video, I don't see Dani Olmo coming, especially for this price. And by the way, if we can afford, Dani Olmo and Nico Williams, then bloody hell, we should spend that money elsewhere. But we'll talk about that later on. But for now, the interest in Barcelona, of course, is strong for Dani Olmo. It's always been there. Interest is always there. But unless a departure doesn't happen or potentially the Nico Williams deal fails, he won't be joining Barcelona this summer. Now, in terms of that midfield reinforcement that Barcelona are looking for, the name of Mikel Merino is gaining pace. Again, a lot of Spanish news. Again, they have just won the Euros, and we are a Spanish club. But anyways, Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona have not yet sent an official offer for Mikel Merino. With the Euros now over, the club will begin to take steps to sign him. He is one of the priorities for the midfield reinforcement role. So again, some good news there in regards to, at least identifying a midfielder that we can go for. Of course, we did lose out on a potential midfield target in Amadou Onana. He's gone to Aston Villa for the 60 million euro price tag that was quoted for him for a very long time. Big loss there. Would have taken Onana for sure. Great player. I think he's one of the, few profiles that fits Barcelona very, very well. But I think in the end, the price didn't quite match the quality of the player that we were getting, and also longevity-wise as well. I can understand why the club didn't do it. I think it was a bit cheaper. I'll be all over it. But fair play to Aston Villa, they went out and paid Everton exactly what they wanted in 60 million euros. I don't think there's any add-ons or anything like that. Just 60 million, that's it. So not too fussed about losing Onana for that price. But again, a good player that could have been of use for Barcelona is now no longer on the market. And that pretty much leaves you with Mikel Merino and Joshua Kimmich at this stance. So of course there's been some hype about Zubimendi, whether he'll be an option. Again, Merino is 30, Zubimendi will cost you double in 60, so it might be better to just get Merino. Again, I'll take either of them. Someone is better than no one at this point. Don't give me Lamine Camara from Liga. That's all I'm asking for. So wait and see how things turn out with Merino. Again, nothing really strong at the moment because all focus right now is going to be on Nico Williams. Once that deal probably reaches the tailor end, gets closer, maybe the club will start shifting focus, putting in some effort on the Mikel Merino side. So we'll see how things do develop. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, the player of the season for Barcelona last year, Ilkay Gundogan. Again, we've talked about this already this summer. I think a few weeks ago about the interest from Galatasaray, his wages, how Barcelona will be open to an offer. More confirmation of this. Again, keep in mind, Barcelona right here, before I read this report, they don't want to sell Gundogan. They're not trying to force him out by any means. They're just open to offers, as they are for a lot of players in the squad. This is a very normality for a club like Barcelona who want to, maybe sell players and reduce salary, and then invest the money into someone who's maybe a bit younger and, gamble a little bit. That's just how Barcelona operate. But anyways, Toni Martinez come out saying that Hansi Flick plans to speak with Gündogan soon about his intentions. The club won't come in the way if the club will not come in the way if the midfielder opens up the idea of leaving due to fair play. However, the German player, as of today, wants to continue at Barcelona. Keep in mind, he only has 1 year left on his deal as well. Barcelona will save Gündogan's salary and it'll help with fair play even more so. The club could even think about going for Dani Olmo alongside Nico Williams if a player like Gündogan leaves. Hold up. You're telling me, transfer fees, we can afford both Nico and Dani Olmo. And I'm sitting here seeing no midfielder links whatsoever. Because look, Gündogan, you sell him, you're going to get no money. Maybe 20 million at best. But the most important thing is you're going to be saving on his 180,000 euros per week salary. You're telling me if Gündogan leaves, you could afford both Dani Olmo and Nico Williams, from transfer fee to the salary, amortization. Of course, these are both release clauses, by the way, so it gets a little bit tricky here and there. And of course, registration. And we've not been linked with a damn midfielder. Oh my god. Look, the question is, Barca boy, would you swap Gündogan for Dani Olmo? The answer is yes. Dani Olmo is younger. He has, he's on the rise. The connection to the Spanish national team, alongside his history with Barcelona. Gündogan only has 1 year left on his deal. Yes, he was absolutely brilliant. Player of the season last year. Very versatile as well, but there's no longevity in Gündogan. You get 1 year out of him, or you can get rid of him, save his salary, get a transfer fee, and bring in Dani Olmo, who can give you about 5-7 years. Makes sense, of course. And I think if Barcelona had total freedom, like no salary issues, no money issues, they probably would do that. But we're in a delicate situation. I think the club right now is happy with either way. So am I as well. You have Fermin Lopez, you have Pedri, you have Gavi, who can play in that 10 role. Rafinha is also a great option there, especially with Lamine Yamal, probably, I would say right now, being the starter at the right wing. So you have alternatives if Gündogan perhaps does end up leaving and you can't afford Dani Olmo. I think Dani Olmo is a good player. Again, he comes in, he's also versatile in the for attacking positions, but Gündogan is versatile in the 10 and also in the pivot as well. When it comes to this, I think not only me, but also Barcelona, it's kind of cool either way. You sell Gündogan, bring in Dani Olmo, cool. You keep Gündogan, just move on, also cool as well. The thing with Gündogan is that right now, with the fully fit Barcelona squad, he's not a starter. It's quite clear that Pedri will be the starting player behind Lewandowski in the 10 in the 4-2-3-1 that Hansi Flick doesn't want to implement. So a player like Ilkay Gundogan sat on 180,000 euros per week on the bench does not sit too well with the club. Again, you can bring Dani Olmo in. He'll be on lesser wages, but again, he'll be a useful player in different areas. Same with Gundogan as well. But the most important thing here is that you're talking about the team's fitness. Again, Pedri's got one leg. Gavi still has a lot of time to recover from his injury. Fermin Lopez is going to be at the Olympics. He's going to come back very late to the start of the season as well. You could maybe play Rafinha there, but I don't know if Hansi Flick's even thinking about that. We've seen, of course, Rafinha play there a lot under Xavi. Does Flick want to play him there? I have absolutely no idea. Could we see maybe Noah Darvik come in as well? I don't know, but I think the only way Gündogan leaves is only if he tells Barcelona he wants out. If he says like, oh, I'm kind of cool, if an offer comes in, we'll see, it has to be something that really attracts me, the club will be fine with it. I think the reality is the club situation is like, you know what, you want to leave, cool, we won't stop you. If you want to stay, cool, we won't stop you. This is a very neutral standpoint from Barcelona. Now, following this news from Toni Juan Martí, the wife of Ilkay Gundogan, reacted to the news, as you can see on the right hand side of the screenshot, with a bunch of laughing emojis on a post that talked about the Toni Juan Martí report of Gundogan potentially leaving. She then deleted that reply about 20 minutes after she put it, and then she came out with an Instagram story saying that, look, I deleted the reply because I don't want to be interfering with, this kind of stuff. I'm a mother, and I don't want to have any problems with these people. By people, she means the journalists. In fact, I am afraid of the journalists. What they can do is beyond my ability as a woman. I'm afraid he'll keep on hating us, saying all these bad things about me and my family. So Toni Juan Martí, it's instilling fear in Sarah Gundogan. But again, she's there laughing at the reports. Maybe he's comfortable at Barcelona, whatever the case may be. Again, Gundogan's future essentially is in his hands. He wants to stay, cool. The club will keep him. I don't think they'll even negotiate a salary reduction. He'll be a free agent in 2025. If he wants to leave and a good offer on the table for both the player and Barcelona, I think all parties will accept it. So it's a very neutral standpoint. I wouldn't say that we should be worried about a Gündogan exit or anything like that. Could it happen? Yes, but it could happen for a lot of players in the team if offers come in. That's just the reality of the mercado. So we'll see how things do turn out. I wouldn't say that Gündogan is definitely out of the question. We'll see how the conversation does go between him and Hansi Flick. That is scheduled to happen. Of course, German. He was Hansi Flick selected him as the captain at the World Cup in 2022 when he was the manager for Germany. He selected Gündogan as the captain. Sorry, not Gündogan. It was Neuer, but he had Gündogan as one of the vice captains. So again, the connection is there, and we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, you could potentially say that Gündogan's future is a tiny bit in the air. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, the craziest and biggest news around Barcelona over the past, you could say, few days, let alone the past 48 hours, is the situation and future around Ronald Araujo. A lot has happened, and we're going to get cracking into it. Now, there have been reports coming in from Barca Times, from Twitter, and also another Twitter account as well, who are both fairly reliable, coming out saying that there is a lot of complications in the future of Araujo. The club, I don't know where he stands right now. All this sort of stuff. Apparently, the club told him to come back after he had his injury, but he decided to stay with Uruguay. I wouldn't read too much into this. I've contacted my source around it, and he told me that, look, it's completely normal. There's no bad blood. It's pretty even. And before I even contacted him, I tweeted this as well. Again, Barca Boy, check my out. Follow me on Twitter for all the updates. Araujo, you have to remember, was effing killed in the Uruguayan media over the past 4 years because he's never fit for international tournaments. 2021, Copa America, wasn't fit. He got injured with Barcelona. World Cup, wasn't fit, got injured with Barcelona, and both times Araujo wanted to go and test himself to see if he'd be able to stay fit for those tournaments, and Barcelona told him no, respect our decision, and he said yes. So him staying in Uruguay, as they were kind of competing, again, they were in a semifinal, could have potentially went to a final, they end up winning bronze as well. Important games. He's not just going there just for vibes. They're there competing, and he wants to be a part of his team, which again, for me personally as a Barca fan, does not really bother me. The only thing that really bothered me a little bit was him getting to the fights in the stands and him, potentially maybe making his injury worse. But he wasn't really getting too much involved, just, hand gestures and all that stuff. So I'm not too bothered. And I honestly don't think the club is as well. You have to respect the player as well. He's fought for Barcelona a lot injury-wise over the past few years and listen to the club. The one time he says, I want to stay with the Uruguay and see how they do. If we go on and win it, we want to celebrate with them and wherever the case may be. So no issues there. And in regards to the future, again, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. Tell me a club that wants Araujo that's top 10. We can run through it again. Again, Real Madrid, don't want him. Bayern Munich, don't want him. Juventus, Inter, AC Milan, don't want him. PSG would be a good option, but they're not interested. They have other priorities in their midfield and their attack. They want to spend that, Mbappe wages on. United are going for Leniero and De Ligt. So, another team that could potentially take Araujo, they're going for other options. City don't want him. Arsenal don't want him. Tottenham don't want him. Chelsea don't want him. Am I missing a club? Dortmund cannot afford him. There is no other top club. Again, and they say this, right here, there's big offers on the table. What big offers? I challenge anyone to tell me what big offer Araujo has on the table. If Tuchel was still Bayern Munich, I'd be shitting myself. If PSG showed any interest in Araujo, I'd be shitting myself. Not because of the competition, but because of the salary and the money they could offer him that we can't probably match. That is it. Bayern and PSG. But those two clubs have other priorities. They're both going out for other players. Bayern Munich already spent 100 million this window on 60 million on Panini, 60 million on Michael Olise. They don't got another 100 million to spend on Araujo. That's completely dead in the water. PSG, yes, they have the money. Can they convince Araujo firstly? After all the stuff they've done to Araujo, Barcelona-wise, do PSG want him? They have already decent center back options. They have the Bernaldo they brought in January. They have Marquinhos. His future's in the air. They're trying to get rid of Kimpembe, of course. So if they do go for a center back, that can be an option. But apart from that, please tell me a big offer Araujo has. He does not have anything. Does not have anything whatsoever. So that's the update on his future. His imminent future is not looking too good, bruv, whatsoever. Of course, following Uruguay's third place win against my country in Canada, he's now traveling back to Barcelona where he will have medical checkups. If he does surgery, he'll be out for 4 months. Does a conservative treatment, he'll be out for about 2 months. And following the test at the Ciudad Deportiva Joan Gamper yesterday morning, Araujo has decided, alongside the club, to conduct the surgery, and that means he'll be out until the end of the year. So we will not see Araujo again. He's projected to come back in December. Bollocks. We know Araujo is going to take forever with his recovery, as he always does. He's not coming back to 2025. So you have now Gavi and Araujo to come back in 2025. And of course, after all this, reports and news, the club also did confirm this via their social media channels, saying that, look, Araujo has decided to go under the knife and, get a surgery, and he will be under the club supervision, and it will be taking place in Finland. Again, the injury is a tendon injury on his right hamstring. So that's Araujo done for 4 months. I probably won't be back till the end of the year, pushing the beginning of the year. If I'm Araujo, I'm setting my sights on that Super Cup to be 100 billion% fully fit, ready to go for that Super Cup when that takes place in January. Now, following the future of Araujo as well, there's been some reports following this injury. Firstly, Alex Pentel from Relevo came out saying that Araujo's departure now is completely halted, because again, with him being injured, very, very unlikely he will leave, and any club coming in being interested in him. Also, Mikel Merino came out saying that before his injury, there was no concrete talks or offers for Araujo to leave. There you go. I broke you guys in the analysis, and we got some confirmation of that. There's no way Araujo had any offers on the table. Anyways, he was focused on the Copa America. Now with this contract expiring in 2026 and no agreement close with Barcelona, we'll see what happens. Barcelona unable to sell him now, and will try to renew his contract. The injury has mainly affected the timing of these discussions. So once he goes under the knife, maybe comes back from Finland, a couple of weeks in bed and recovering, we can start something. Hopefully we can have some sort of concrete consensus before he comes back from his injury, because this will be, again, big play by Barcelona. You're going into the final year of his deal, 2025, sell him or not, 60 million, I would say 50 million next summer compared to the 80, 90 from this summer. Before he comes back from injury, at least have an idea. Yes, I want to stay, let's talk, let's negotiate, sure, go play. But if he says no, that way you can hold him back a bit, and then, last time Araujo played was, last week, he can go a whole entire year without playing football. That way you can really put pressure on the player himself. So if Barcelona is smart here, they can really play this very well. We'll wait and see how things turn out. Look, I'm still very confident that Araujo will stay, mainly because again, no other top 10 club in the world is not only interested, they can't afford what Barcelona are asking for. Again, I broke it down. It's clear as day. Mikel Merino also came out saying there's no offers for him on the table to leave. Again, if Tuchel's at Bayern Munich, different story. If PSG were interested, different story. Apart from those two clubs, again, Bayern Munich cannot afford him anymore. They've already spent out over 100 million. They don't definitely not spending another 100 million this window. They can't afford him. It's basically just PSG or not, because I think PSG could use him and he would be a good signing for PSG. This comes down to whether or not they're interested in or not. I think right now they're really mainly focused on their midfield and attacking reinforcement. So we'll see with Araujo. Again, things are going to, I think, slow down over the next few weeks. But once we hit probably the new season, September international break, we could hear some news then about his future. Now, following the news of Araujo being out until the new year, that does mean that Barcelona will have little to no shakeup in their defense, with both Inigo Martinez and Eric Garcia expected to continue at Barcelona. Having Miguel from AES came out saying the injury to Araujo has changed the club's planning. Inigo and Eric Garcia will now stay at Barcelona. Now, you can see that I put a picture of Mikayil Faye. I think one of these three will leave. Which one, who, what, when, where, why, I don't know. But especially now with Araujo's injury, I do agree. It's now instead of, if Araujo was fit, two of these would leave. But now with Araujo being injured, one of them will leave, I think. What Barcelona's best idea is, I would say personally, bin Inigo, keep Eric in 5, because once they hit January and Araujo comes back, those who can have some sort of a sell-on value, you can kind of get rid of them. There will be interest for you to get rid of them in January, where Inigo, 6 months left on his deal, no one's going to come take him. Now, by the way, speaking of Inigo Martinez, Catalonia Radio came out saying that Inigo Martinez can unilaterally release his contract within Barcelona if they don't register him in the next 24 hours. Now, this is, of course, Sunday. The deadline for Inigo was yesterday at noon. Of course, he's still here. He did not execute that option to terminate his contract with Barcelona. By that, of course, it means he gives up the money and he walks. He's not going to give up the money. He's going to be sat on 140K a week, no matter where he is next season. So I doubt he'd want to give that up to, help Barcelona. But again, that option was there in his contract. Maybe he had different ambitions at the time or whatever the case may be. But that option was on the table and he did not execute it. But again, with Araujo being injured, two of these three players that you see on the screen will stay. You're going to have probably Christensen and Kubarsi as your starters. And again, by the way, Kubarsi going to the Olympics as well. So best believe it's going to be Christensen and probably, I would say, either Eric or Inigo starting off the season. Maybe Christensen and Inigo having that left foot there. Again, it depends on how they do in preseason as well. They impress Hansi Flick, especially with Mikel Faye. So huge, by the way, opportunity here from Mikel Faye. Araujo out injured, left-footed center back. You're a bit unique, a bit of a different style. You can definitely push for some sort of a starting role. Again, I'm expecting Koundé to be out right back to start the season off, especially with Cancelo's future right now just being absolutely nowhere. At this current point, you could, of course, have Christensen and Koundé, but then you kind of lose that aerial strength in that center-back partnership where Inigo would bring that in. I don't think Eric would bring it in. I don't think Mikel Faye. So that's why Inigo staying big plus. So then, of course, you'd have to have either Hector Ford or Julian at right back, but I think Flick would probably want to start the season with some experience. Actually, let's bring this in right now on Koundé very quickly. Gabriel Sanz came out saying that although Hansi Flick would like the club to seal the signing of Cancelo, he also sees Koundé as a very good option at right back. The Frenchman's Euro tournament hasn't gone unnoticed. Again, he was the best right back at the tournament. Of course, Carvajal played very well. Koundé, though, was absolutely clear. So we could see the start of the season as a back line. Koundé, Christensen, one of Inigo, Eric, or Faye, and then Balde at left back. So again, with Araujo now being injured, expect more defenders to stay at Barcelona than maybe them being moved on in January. Nonetheless, though, you could say less things to worry about for Barcelona. Okay, we don't have to sell any players now. The defense at this point now, there's going to be, of course, no signings apart from maybe Cancelo. Could maybe see a departure or two, but there won't be too much of a shakeup now in the defense, which again can hopefully shift the club's focus into other important areas. Now, a position where Barcelona could see some changes is in the reserve goalkeeper department. Sport have come out saying that Astralaga could leave on loan. Diego Kochen is expected to have prominence at Barça Athletic next season and also be the third keeper behind Ter Stegen and Iñaki Peña. Again, Astralaga was the goalkeeper for Barça Athletic last season. At this point now, with him not being the backup to Ter Stegen, he's probably going to want to get more minutes and develop his career, so maybe look at a loan, potential sale with a buyback option, whatever the case may be. That way there's room for Diego Kochen to get that promotion to Barça Athletic. Because last season he was playing a lot with the cadet and juvenile side, so now he's going to need that experience with Barça Athletic alongside and under the supervision of Rafa Marquez. By the way, Belotti has just been announced as a juvenile A manager as well, so we talked about that on the channel a few weeks ago, but we'll wait and see how things do turn out. Again, with Astralaga, not someone that, impressed me a lot. I think he's a good keeper that can, with room to improve. He wasn't like an Arnau Tenas that really, I think he's a top keeper. When you had Inaki, Arnau, and Ter Stegen, thinking, bloody hell, what the hell do we do in this scenario? It's quite clear. I don't mind getting rid of Astralaga by any means. Sell on clause, buyback option, loan, whatever the case may be. Then have that room for Diego Kochen to grow, which again, the club do rate Kochen very, very highly. They think he's a big talent in the goalkeeper department. So we'll see how that talent elevates over the course of the season, which of course will entail Astralaga to depart the club this summer, most likely in some sort of fashion. Let's discuss some contract renewal updates around Barcelona. We have just one update is on Toni Fernandez. Of course, the Fernandez cousins have been shaking up the Barcelona La Masia hierarchy, you could say, based on their performances and their talent. And of course, Barcelona very close to signing down Gili Fernandez on a new deal. They want to do the same thing with his cousin Toni Fernandez. Relivo have come out saying that Toni Fernandez is expected to sign a contract renewal with Barcelona today until 2027, despite offers from big clubs like Bayern Leverkusen, Juventus, and Manchester City. The player opted to continue at the club. This is of course very important. This also pretty much entails that he will 100% be on that plane to America. That's probably why he's renewed now instead of waiting a bit longer, seeing other offers, seeing what Barcelona really want to offer him. Again, we did last summer, of course, Lamine Yamal and Balde. Unless he didn't renew their deal, they weren't going to go out for pre-season. They probably would have been held back and been frozen out, essentially, you could say. But with Toni, he's given the go-ahead to Barcelona. Of course, great renewal for Barcelona. Him and Gili are just the hype I've seen around them is hype I haven't seen since probably Ilaix Moriba, I would say. Like it's some high level stuff, especially for midfielders. So we'll see how they do end up playing. But again, the renewal of one of the two Fernandez cousins is now sealed. Hopefully, Gili will also join his cousin in renewing his contract at Barcelona sooner rather than later. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona, alongside the injury update that we already had on Araujo. We also have an update on Frenkie de Jong, and it's some positive news. Javi Miguel came out saying that the club said that Frenkie de Jong is expected to return to training in about 10 to 15 days. Frenkie de Jong is furious about the recent rumors regarding the condition of his ankle. The club insists that he is nearly recovered and will soon be able to train with the team. Now, of course, recent reports was from Ben Aid, who's very reliable, and he said that Frenkie de Jong is going to be out for another month. Javi Miguel saying he's wrong. He'll actually be back in around 2 weeks. So we'll see who's right. And we'll come back and reflect, and we'll kind of, change and dictate their reliability meter. But it'll be very interesting to see who is right in this regards. Of course, Javi Miguel is known for having all the injury updates and gets everything spot on. I would say 9 out of 10 times. But Ben Aid is still very, very reliable. So we'll see. I'm very, again, the Ben Aid one made no sense. I'm thinking, why is Frenkie de Jong pulling out, or was he even in consideration for the Dutch national team for the Euros, that he's going to be coming back so late? I think the fact that he's not fit right now is a little bit surprising. I thought he would be fit for the start of preseason to start training with the squad now, like they are currently training, especially now, being involved in the Euros. But we'll see. For me, as long as he's fit and on the flight to America, I'm content. If he's not on the flight to America, I will be very, very worried, especially with the season that we have coming up ahead, the difficult start we do have in La Liga. I really want Frenkie to be fit with, kind of a low number of midfielders that we do have right now. Of course, Pedri injured, Gavi injured for many of the Olympics. Gündogan going to be dead on his feet after playing like 70 plus games. Trying to get rid of Romeo. You're going to have Casado and Frenkie as your basically only two midfielders. Roberto's nowhere to be seen yet. He might come back and save the day, so we'll wait and see how things do turn out with Frenkie. But again, the return date for him is kind of in the air, but hopefully will be on the more positive side. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, the Joan Gamper opponent is confirmed and the leaks were correct. The club have announced that AS Monaco will be the opponent for the Joan Gamper Fest, or the Joan Gamper Trophy match. It will be taking place on August the 12th at 8 p.m. local time. So again, regular time, regular date as well. I think it's the weekend before La Liga starts. I think our first game is the 17th against Valencia, or 16th, something like that. So on course for usual. Again, remember this date, August 12th is going to be very, very important, because I think the squad needs to be somewhat of a decent completed level by then. I want Nico Williams in, I want a midfielder in by then, I want at least another 1 or 2 departures by then. Have a really fine tune of what to expect. And again, Joan Gamper is in under a month, which means that the season is fastly approaching. Gonna be a lot of news, a lot of changes happening over the next few weeks. Signings in, signing out, registration, number changes. It's gonna be a galore. New kits should be being announced this week. I believe the date is Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, 2 days from now, the home kit should be announced. We'll wait and see on the away kit and the third kit. I think that's going to come at a later date. But a lot of stuff happening in Barcelona. And again, that day of August 12th will be key for Barcelona to have at least their squad somewhat completed to get ready for the start of La Liga. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to give you guys some updates around the first few days of training, alongside, of course, the new coaching staff. The club released an official statement on the new coaching staff of Hansi Flick, and it is as follows. The physical trainer will be Pepe Conde. Goalkeeping coach is still Jose Ramon de la Fuente, 10 years strong for him. Hector Westerman, one of the assistant coach, alongside Toni Tapalovic, and also Mark Sog. You have, of course, Hansi Flick as the head coach. German Fernandez will be the gym and strength training. Julio Toulouse, head of the physical training. And Rafa Maldonado will be one of the physical trainers as well. We talked about these joining when Flick was appointed as well, so no real surprises. The only surprise is the exclusion, of course, of Thiago Alcantara, who should be coming in soon. Again, imminent announcement for him. I think the club do want to announce his arrival before the kit on Thursday, so expect maybe today, tomorrow, some point for Thiago to be announced, and also what his role will be. The reason why it's being delayed, his announcement, is because the club want to, let everyone know, the media, fans, people who care about the club, what his role is and how long he'll be there for. 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. So that's why Thiago isn't officially announced yet, but he is basically, again, fully agreed, and he will be there at least for the first 6 months. Now, in regards to training, of course, we had a few training sessions now. We're reaching almost a week of full first team training. What has happened? What has improved? There's been a few things. Firstly, announced to Ansu Fati, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona's new physical coach, Pepe Conde, is closely following Ansu Fati. He has made a tailor-made plan to get Fati back to his best levels, and apparently those best levels are showing, because also, according to Russian Mundo Deportivo, Hansi Flick was very positively surprised by Ansu Fati and Mikel Faye during the first few training sessions. Again, these are the two players that, the club want to hype up a little bit, potentially sell as well, so don't read too much into it. Again, the real test is with your eyes when preseason matches begin in America. That's where you and I can sit there and see who's playing well and who's not playing well, and who's impressing and who's not impressing. Media talk is all crap. I've seen, players get hyped all the time. Coutinho doing great training. Oh, Arda Turan looking like the Turkish Messi. I've seen it all. I want results on the pitch. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, of course, I want to know is around signings. Nico Williams, think we're going to get that done or not? You think we're going to bring in a midfielder? You want Mikel Merino? Would you go for Zubimendi, Kimmich? Would you bring in Dani Olmo and, sell on Gündogan? Your thoughts on the future of Gündogan after being, our player this season? Would you let him go despite his wages and very low amount of years left on his contract? Thoughts on the whole entire situation around Araujo, not only his future, but his injury issues as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barça.
Yeah.